Alright, so today's video I'm just going to be going over why most people quit literally right before it works. And I'll also be telling some of my personal experiences and how I didn't quit. If you're watching this and you've ever felt like you're putting in all the work and nothing's happening to you, it's a very common phase. You're not alone. Most people actually quit right at this point. Not because they're lazy or anything, just because they don't actually understand how the game works. So life is like a game, business is like this game. And if you don't know how this game works, think of playing chess and you don't know how to play, actually play that game. Nothing is gonna work in your favor. The chances of you actually winning is virtually none, especially if the person that you were playing against, your opponent, actually knows how to play the game. This is the reality of business. You're competing with a bunch of people that know how to play this game, but you don't understand how it works. So you are at a massive disadvantage. Success doesn't feel good before it hits. It just feels uncertain. Oftentimes when I think of this, when I think of that quote, I think of business or pursuing your goals often just feels like a marathon that you're running, except you don't know when or where the finish line is, how long you're gonna be running, and to top it all off, you're shit at running. So you have to get better at it during the race. Effectively is what this is. So the real curve that no one talks about. So there's honestly 4 main phases of the journey. There's a few, but I'll quickly just show you on this graph over here. This is the change curve. So it starts up here with uninformed optimism. So a lot of people are faced with this. This is where you go through life, you start an endeavor. You might even see this with your friends. They might be trying to start up some form of business or an e-commerce experience, something like that, something of that manner. And they're met with uninformed optimism, otherwise known as certainty, where they say, hey, I'm gonna do this great thing, it's gonna turn out fantastic, until it doesn't. So then they go down this loop and they get faced with their first real challenge, and then they're faced with informed pessimism. I'm sure a lot of you have, actually, I'll even say this, I'm sure everyone has experienced this exact same thing. And that's okay. But the kicker is, most people when they're met with informed pessimism, this is where they just give up. That's the fun part. So this is actually a competitive advantage to you. If you can just persevere through informed pessimism, and you can keep going through, keep learning, keep applying, and just knowing in your head that the hard part is where most people quit, and the only difference between winners and losers is the winners just kept going past that point, then you too can succeed. Very easy. Something about the culture nowadays with short form and TikTok and all of this stuff is it's breeded a bunch of people who have a very short attention span and aren't willing to commit any length of time to a dream or a goal that they have. So this gives you a gargantuan competitive advantage. So if you can get through this tough phase right here, you keep going into hopeful realism. So then you say, okay, this is possible. Other people have been doing it. There's nothing that defies the laws of physics that prevents me from achieving this. So as long as I keep going and keep making improvements, it is possible. Then you go up, hopeful realism, and informed optimism, where you start to see results and you begin to see that it is actually working. And then eventually get into completion, satisfaction. And this is one of those things where it does kind of loop back into itself. But once you understand this game and what that looks like, everything all of a sudden becomes much easier. So just to give you guys some examples, that first stage of uninformed optimism, that's going to be when TikTok says, hey, you're going to make $10,000 per month in 30 days. And informed pessimism is, wait a second, guys, this is going to be much harder than I thought. And then self-doubt creeps in, metrics are suck, no replies, you burn out, then you enter into the valley of despair. Like I said, most people quit here. Feels like you're stuck in the mud, you're getting nowhere. It's the trenches. You don't know if the money's gonna run out or any of these other variables that you can't really control. And like I said, once you get past that point, comes informed optimism. Okay, I've seen the data, I've adjusted, and I'm still standing strong. It makes you unstoppable. It's amazing. The dip is the toll you pay for anything great. So just from my own personal experience, I've been in the exact same standpoint where in my own business in Valente, lead gen marketing agency, first starting out and doing outreach, it's like, 30, 40 outreach a day, and you realize like, whoa, I'm like not getting any real answers here. No appointments are being set. It's terrible. Or even like with your own clients, like there's a 30-day period where, the results aren't gonna be crazy because you have to set stuff up, and you're in the trenches. You're in the trenches for sure. Like I quit my full-time job. I was making decent money. And that's what my parents want me to do. They don't want me to take risk like that, right? Just moved out and everything, got my own office space, all this stuff. And it's a race to the bottom. But once you keep analyzing and you just keep testing everything, you just realize it's like, okay, so the data isn't a forward trajectory here. What are the most actionable things that I can do today that are within my control that will get me out of these trenches? You keep doing it, consistency, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, cool. So like when it rains, it pours. Like everything just comes in at once. And brings me back to a saying from Brian Tracy, which is, success lies on the far side of failure. So when you get in that valley of despair, like that is the best place to be. The north wind is what created the Vikings. That's how the old adage goes. So when you feel that shame, fatigue, embarrassment, imposter syndrome, whatever it is, all it takes is that one small win or insight to get you to push through. In these moments, everyone's telling you to quit, and you're never gonna make it, or this is never gonna work, and it sucks because they are right. It sucks because they are right, but they're right for now, not forever. So you gotta realize, like, once you quit, once you devote so much time into one thing, once you go back, you have to start at zero again. So it sucks. Of course, when you beat a game, when you beat a level, let's say Mario World, you beat all the levels in that world. It's hard at first, you die a few times, whatnot. But now, whenever you go back to that level, it's far easier. So anyway, just to transition this. So why are most people quitting? And actually never seeing that payout? Well, it's because they expect linear results in a compound interest game. They think slow. That means they're wrong. So they don't realize that progress is going to be invisible at first. So this was actually from Luke Belmar, and he said, you ever hear of the story of the bamboo? And how that goes is for the first, I'm gonna butcher the numbers here, guys, but you can play along with the analogy. For the first year of bamboo growing, it just grows underground. Then all of a sudden in 5 weeks it springs plenty of feet up in the air. So it takes all of that time just for it to build the foundation, then it shoots up. And that, it's 100% true. So you have to reframe what you do instead. So track the effort, not just the results, okay? With volume comes clarity, and with clarity comes traction. So expect that dip. It's a part of the map. Don't even worry about that. And make decisions based on principles, not emotions. Simple enough. A lot of people introduce emotion on it. Just try to focus everything purely on the analytics, on the facts. I like to call it the 90-day rule. So give anything 90 days before you judge it. Not for results, but so you can build resilience. It's like if you do kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever. You're gonna suck so bad at first. And first of all, that's why you should do it, because it's gonna callous your mind. As it says in the Bible, suffering produces endurance. So if it feels like it's not working, if you're at a point in your business where things just aren't going your way, the truth is it might actually be working for you. So drop a comment, guys, if you felt this lately. I've been there. Just keep going. And as always, I look forward to seeing you guys at the top. Peace.